Looking like a good night for baseball in Cincinnati.
Hey, what is going on, guys? T.Sports 15 here, and today we have another episode of the Pittsburgh Pirates fantasy draft franchise here in MLB 13, the show. So we are 3 games under 500, I think it says up here. We're actually 5 games under, sorry. We're taking on a division rival, Cincinnati Reds, who are 9 games under. They were 31 and 40. So if we can finish about like 5 games over 500, which is 10 games back of where we are now, we will have a good chance to make the playoffs, because in fantasy draft franchises, it's a lot more even. So you can see the lineups here, pretty much the same as every other game. It's just we, instead of having Will Myers in right, we got Rajai Davis in right, and then we have Stephen Drew at short. So Tim Lincecum with the 7-3 record with a 3.2 ERA is going to be pitching for the Cincinnati Reds. So it should be a pretty good matchup. So here we go. First inning, we got a runner on base already, Bryce Harper, and we got Paul Goldschmidt getting a base hit into right field. So that would be Asdrubal Cabrera coming up with runners on first and second and 2 out, and he will ground out to the second baseman, and that will end the inning as he underhands it on to first, and that would be a pretty close play. So let's have a look at Dusty Baker's lineup here. With this fantasy draft franchise, you never know what teams can have. They have Ben Revere, Chris Getz, Mark Trumbo, Carlos Quinton, Nolan Reimold, Mike Aviles, Ryan Hannigan, Alberto Callaspo, and Tim Lincecum rounding it out. So on the mound for us in this game, we have Gio Gonzalez. He's having a very bad year. He is 1-6 with a 6.12 ERA, and I think this is one of the reasons why we are actually not having such a good year, is because our pitching staff, most specifically our starting rotation, is not doing that well. So 2-2 count, 2 outs to Mark Trumbo, and he's going to go opposite field. That one is going to reach the seats, and Mark Trumbo puts the Cincinnati Reds on the board, and he would get them off to a good start. So the Cincinnati Reds take the 1-0 lead after that big blast by Mark Trumbo, and I'll tell you right now, he does have a pretty big game in this game. So you can see as we move on, Dusty Baker's very happy about that home run by Mark Trumbo. So we need to capitalize on some mistakes by their pitcher. So we're back on the sticks with a runner on first base, and Danny Espinosa up with a 2-1 count. He's going to hit ground out to the third baseman, but the second baseman cannot make the play there at second, and then throws it on to first, and it's well late, so an error, E4 there. And the next up would be Stephen Drew, and he's going to drive this ball deep right field, and he goes yard, giving us a 2-run lead, 3-1 lead after that. And Stephen Drew just put us on the board. He gets a occasional start here at shortstop, starting for Asdrubal Cabrera. We gave him the day off, and he comes up big here in the second inning, driving in Espinosa and Groundal, and putting us on the board in this second inning. So back on to the defensive side of the ball, bottom of the second, and Gio Gonzalez is going to give up a base hit into the gap. This one's going to roll all the way to the wall, and it should be easy extra bases. We're going to throw this one into the cut, and we'll hold them to a double. So we got that runner on second and 2 outs now. Next batter is going to ground out to the shortstop onto first base, and that will do it for the second. So we move all the way to the top of the sixth. Andrew McCutchen up, and he is going to ground out to shortstop, but he actually beats it out. A very nice hustle play there by Andrew McCutchen, and that would do it for Tim Lincecum. He went 5+ innings. He came in for the 6th, and he gave a base hit, and his coach decided to pull him. So it was a good decision by them, and Jamie Wright comes in. He's 2-2 with a 4.74 ERA through 19 innings, and this will be his 21st appearance. He has 7 walks and 11 Ks. So he's having a pretty decent year, actually a pretty bad year if you consider to some of our relievers. Our bullpen's pitching very well this season, and Andrew McCutchen is going to take off from second base. He's going to pick up that steal as he picks up third base, and next up would be Asdrubal Cabrera, and he's going to drive this ball up the middle, and that will be an RBI for him. And I know I said earlier that Stephen Drew started as shortstop for Asdrubal Cabrera. He actually got the start at third base for Brett Lawrie, my bad. So Espinosa comes up next. He's going to fake the bunt as Cabrera's headed for second and gets thrown out there. So heading to the bottom of the 6th, and we still got that 3-run lead, 4-1, and a very nice diving play there by Danny Espinosa. He comes up, throws from his knees, and throws the guy out at first. So phenomenal play by Danny Espinosa. And he's having a pretty good season with the gloves. So still in the bottom of the 6th with this 1 out. And Mark Trumbo, same spot, and he goes deep for the second time in this game. The opposite field, pretty much the same spot, a little bit more into center field this time. And he'll make this lead. He'll cut it in half, actually. So it's a 4-2 ball game now after his second solo shot. And he is the source of all of their offense so far in this game. We just really can't solve him in this game. For some reason, I really couldn't solve Mark Trumbo. So still in the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 count to the next batter, Carlos Quinton, and he is going to take him for a ride deep left field. If it stays fair, it's gone, and yes, it does. A second deck bomb for Carlos Quinton. They go back-to-back home runs to bring them within 1 run, and after that, that should be the end of the day for Gio Gonzalez. So a very nice poke there for Carlos Quinton. I've never really played with him in MLB 13 to show, so he might be a guy that I look to trade for, maybe as that right field option instead of Will Myers, because he's kind of like a young guy, and this is probably only going to be a 1-year franchise. So we still got Gio Gonzalez on the hill. He's staying in, and he is going to have runners on first and second. He's going to give this ball up into the gap. We cut it off before it gets to the wall, but not in time to cut off that first run, and that will tie this ball game up. So once he gave up his 4th run, he knew it was done. The coach comes out and pulls him, and we're going to bring in our first reliever of this game. So he went 5 1/3, sorry. I pitch into the bottom of the 6th. So we're going to bring in Mark Melanson, pretty much one of the only guys that actually plays on the Pirates that is on my team right now. Him and McCutcheon are pretty much the only 2 that I can think of off the top of my head. But he's having a pretty bad season. He's 4-4 with a 3.94 ERA. So he's not one of my best relievers this season, but 3-2 count, runners in the corner, and he's going to walk a Cayaspo to load the bases with 1 out. So we really need a ground ball here. Turn 2, come to 4, go to 1, something like that. So we got 2-1 count to the next batter, and he's going to ground out to first base. This is the play we want, but a wild throw home, and then a late throw to first, and that would give them an easy run. So now with 1 out, they would drive this ball into right field. That will be a base hit. Rajai Davis throws it in, cuts off 1 more run, and they would take a bigger lead on that hit. So still got these bases loaded, 2 outs now. Trumbo, we finally get him to ground outs, and we decided to take it with Cabrera, and he gets in there late, does some weird sliding animation, and they do pick up an extra run there. So now still these 2 outs. Carlos Quinton up next, already homered in this inning, and we will get him to strike out. We just touched the plate there, and that'll end the inning. So you can see the stat line through the first 6 innings. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Pirates. 7 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors for the Reds. Stephen Drew has a home run. He's 1 for 2. Trumbo has 2 home runs. He's 3 for 4. And Juan Oviedo is going to come in for the Reds. He is 2-3 with 4.02 ERA, but he's already pitched 43 games. We're only in like the 2nd month of the season. So Stephen Drew up, 3-2 count with 1 out, and he's going to send this ball to the shortstop, who makes a phenomenal play, throwing off balance, getting him at first. Nice scoop by Trumbo at first as well, and that'll be it for that inning. So we head to the bottom of the 7th, where Brett Cecil's going to come in. He's having a very good season, 1.63 ERA. He's 2-2 through this first part of the season. So he's going to face the first batter with a runner on first base, and himself is going to make an error, and that would cost him. So he got a runner on 2nd and 3rd now with 1 out, and he's going to give up this little pass ball, but they try to test it. It only went a few steps away from the plates. Grandal picks it up and tags out the runner from 3rd coming home, and they wouldn't get anything there. So we head to the bottom of the 9th, I mean top of the 9th, sorry, we're on the road, and the highest paid closer in the game will come in, Jonathan Papelbon, and we'll see if we can get anything going here against him. With 1 out now, as Drupal Cabrera up, he's going to send this ball into the right center field gap. That one's going to go all the way to the wall, and we got ourselves an inning now. We just need to put together a few more hits, and we could have ourselves a close ball game. So now 1-1 count, 2 outs, runner on third now. We're still down those 3 runs. We need something going here. This ball is going to get into the left center field gap, but their center fielder runs it down, and that would be the 3rd out of this inning. So they record all 27 outs there. That would be the last one, and we do pick up the loss here. So we move 6 games under 500. We really need to improve this team. For the next episode, I'm probably going to be looking for some trades, so just leave some suggestions for trades in the comment section below. I'm not looking for you guys to go in and recreate this team or anything and look for trades that way. Just guys that you would like me to look for, guys that you would like me to get rid of. Grandal is a maybe that we might be looking for a different option at catcher. Espinoza maybe looking for a different option at second. Center field were pretty good. Left field were pretty good with Bryce Harper and McCutcheon. Right field is an option because we have Will Myers out there and Rajai Davis sometimes. And then first base we got Paul Goldschmidt, who we could replace, I guess. So there's lots of options we can do with this team. We're about halfway through the season. No, not even close. Next episode might be halfway through the season. So yeah, leave suggestions for trades and stuff. So you can see the box scores on your way out. We finished with 4 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. The Reds finished with 7 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. So those are your box scores right there. Gio Gonzalez gets the loss. I think Lincecum did get the win, and then Papelbon got the save. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.